What's going on, everyone? I'm at Parcero Philly, uniting all through sports and culture. And today, guys, it is a very special episode. As you guys can tell, wearing some Flyers gear today, because today we are going to preview the upcoming Philadelphia Flyers season. But before we get to any previews of the Flyers, I wanted to get some things off of my chest. As you guys know, my passion is the sport of soccer, but I love the city of Philadelphia. This is my home. The city of Philadelphia is ingrained into my DNA. And the sport of hockey has always been a guilty pleasure of mine. I played it for 2 years growing up, and it's a sport that me and my family all fell in love with. But growing up, of course, I was not an easy kid to deal with, and I was always rebellious. And it was around the 2012-2013 season. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I gave up on the Philadelphia Flyers. And me being rebellious decided, you know what? I grew up in South Jersey, why not be a Devils fan? So for the last 5 seasons, I donned the red and black and I rooted for the New Jersey Devils. And to be quite honest with you, I was a fan of it. But as you get older, as you mature as an adult, you start seeing things a little different. I love the city of Philadelphia and I love the sport of hockey. Me being a Philly sports fan, I know things are not going to be easy. It shouldn't change my loyalty to my team. So as you guys can tell, I put out a video showing you my personal introduction into the orange and black. And guys, Parcero Philly is a Flyer and he is here to stay, whether you like it or not. One thing I promise to you guys is I will always keep it real and I will always be honest with you guys. And I felt that was something I needed to get off my chest. So with that being said, mi gente, the Philadelphia Flyers went through an interesting summer and our season is upcoming this Friday. But today, let's talk about them and let's look forward to this season because my Posidelphia juices are flowing with this team. So let's get to it. Yeah, that is right, guys. Damn, it has been a minute since I have talked some serious hockey talk, but I'm excited for this preview because the Philadelphia Flyers, guys, I'm genuinely excited for this team. And I know the emotion right now with Flyers fans, Philadelphia fans in general, is not so hot right now with this team. And honestly, the reaction and the feelings towards this team, it is definitely granted because the Flyers in the past 8 years have only made the playoffs 4 times. 50%, yes, but if you look at before the 2011-2012 season, the Flyers were coming off an Atlantic Division championship, and the Flyers coming off a consistency of making the playoffs. These days, playoffs are not granted to the Philadelphia Flyers as they once were. And it seemed like there was no clear direction, there was no clear culture, there was no hope for the Flyers until this year. So last season, the Philadelphia Flyers finished 37-37 and 8. That was good enough for 6th in the Metro and 11th in the Eastern Conference. As we all know, Dave Hackstall, their coach for the past 4 seasons, was fired in the middle of this season, leaving the 2018-2019 season in the ruins. As we all know, the Dave Hackstall experiment, and that's what Dave Hackstall was, an experiment, did not really pan out. His message was not getting to the players, and it just seems like him not understanding how NHL locker rooms work really hindered on him in the end. And this team last year was outscored 244-281 throughout the season, and the amount of goalies this team went through is absolutely unheard of. Obviously, this team is trying to turn the page. There is a lot that has been happening over the past couple of years. Obviously, the death of the longtime owner and founder, Ed Snyder, definitely hindered on this team. There hasn't really been a clear-cut big face of the front office like Ed Snyder had with the Philadelphia Flyers. And of course, the Flyers trying to get away from the Broad Street bully days they had for over 30 years. It was something that was getting redundant and something that the NHL was moving away from. And lastly, the inability of this franchise to find a goalie to put between the pipes. Damn, it has been a while since there's been some quality goalkeeping between the pipes. But let's look ahead, guys, and let's turn the page because I like some of the moves the Philadelphia Flyers made this offseason, and let's talk about the big one and the main reason why I feel this team is going to be exciting, and that is the hiring of head coach Alain Vigneault. Now, obviously, any NHL enthusiast knows Alain Vigneault and his track record. My man has been in 2 Stanley Cup finals with 2 different teams, the Vancouver Canucks and also the New York Rangers, who we all hate, we know. But he has a track record of winning and changing cultures. He doesn't last very long in different places, but what we need is a culture change. And if anyone has been paying attention to preseason or even watched the Inside the Glass, great footage by the NHL Network, you see the intensity, you see the high energy that Alain Vigneault has. This is something this Flyers team is going to need, because there is some serious talent on this team for sure. Despite the Flyers not making the playoffs last year, and despite the Flyers having probably the worst power play killer in the NHL, there's still some talent for Alain Vigneault to work with. And those top two lines is really what I'm going to be looking forward to. To be honest with you, it's probably the two lines that's going to carry this team. You got Claude Giroux, Sean Couturier, Travis Konecny, JVR, Aka Voracek, and the newly acquired Kevin Hayes. All 6 of the players that I just mentioned, I expect to take their game to another level, and I expect these guys to carry this team. Issue with the forward group is going to lie in the 3rd and 4th line, because there are some injuries with Nolan Patrick and as well as Tyler Pitlick, who are 2 guys that the Flyers are going to rely on those 3rd and 4th lines to contribute. And we all know we are waiting for Nolan Patrick to take that next step, because obviously we know up in North Jersey has definitely improved since he's came into this league. Nolan Patrick has been fighting injuries and just fighting to transition to the NHL. It's going to be a big season. I'm hopeful for him, and I'm expecting him to have a good year, but definitely a lot of weight on the young player's shoulders. I'm also expecting some serious contributions from young players like Carson Jaworski, and also the young Swede left winger Oscar Lindblom. We still got Michael Raffel and Scott Laughton, who I feel like has been here. He's been in Philadelphia forever, and just expecting them to not fuck up, in all honesty. These are 2 serviceable players, and Alain Vigneault is going to rely on them for some veteran leadership. In the defense, there is some youth, but I think this unit is going to improve from last season. Obviously, the big move was trading Roscoe Gudis to the Washington Capitals for the veteran Matt Niskanen, and Matt Niskanen is in need of a definite fresh start. And I believe that in Philadelphia, it is the perfect opportunity for Matt to get that fresh start that he needs. Lining him up with Ivan Provorov, who got a new deal and is also looking for a comeback season, because last year was not a season he's going to want to remember. Another guy in the defense that needs to have a comeback season is Shane Gostisbehere, who was riding high up until last season. He definitely had a dip, so bad that there was some serious trade rumors and he was almost out the door. If we want to be that team fighting in the playoffs, fighting for Stanley Cups, this young defensive core needs to take that next step. Guys like Provorov, Gostisbehere, Samuel Morin, and Travis Sanheim. Justin Braun, who the Flyers got from a trade from the San Jose Sharks. He's going to bring over some veteran leadership, and that's definitely a very underrated role. All right, guys, and the most important position in this beautiful sport, the goalie. And for the first time since maybe Ron Hextall, the Flyers might have a legitimate goalie, and that is the young 20-year-old Carter Hart, who last season came up from the minors and showed us that he is the guy for the Philadelphia Flyers goal mine. He looked very impressive and very mature in the short time that we saw him play for the Flyers. And going into the season, the expectation is for him to play a full slate of games for the Flyers, and for him to take that next step. We clearly see the talent from Carter Hart. Now it's time to see if he can be consistent with it, and we can see it for an extended period of time. I have high hopes for Carter Hart. Obviously, we all know how we can over-exaggerate here in the city of Philadelphia when we see a young player play well, but Carter Hart's got that it factor, and that's always hard to find, especially for a position like the goal. And whenever Carter is going to need to break here and there, or is having a bad game, we always have Brian Elliott, who is a very serviceable backup in this league, and expect him to be called upon when needed. Alright guys, so here's the thing about the Flyers. The beginning of the season is not going to be easy, and it might not look pretty. They have to go on an extended road trip, which includes our first game being played over in Prague, overseas, and then we got to come back over. We have a little Western Conference road trip as well. In the preseason, we did not look good at all. It seems like these guys have had a little difficulty trying to adjust to this Alain Vigneault fast, quick-paced system that he likes to implement with his team. Combine all that, that is not a formula for success. But the beauty of it is that it is a long season, and the Flyers just have to be 500 until November, until December comes, when you got to start turning it on, got to start going on runs, starting to look forward to the playoffs. I believe the Flyers this year will not start off so hot, but they are going to pick it up. And they are going to be in the playoffs. Because if you look at the playoff picture from last season, the bottom teams you expect not to make it. If you look at last year's playoffs, you got to believe that this Flyers team can be better than the New York Islanders, Columbus Blue Jackets, or even the Carolina Hurricanes. You also got a Pittsburgh team that is without Phil Kessel. Kenny Malkin was asking to be traded already before the season even started. And, Sidney Crosby, for as good as he is another year older. That may be a little bit of a concern for the Penguins. To be honest, the only other team that really worries me is a team up from North Jersey, the New Jersey Devils. And also you got to factor players like Claude Giroux, players like Sean Couturier, players like Kevin Hayes or a JVR. These guys are not getting any younger. And these guys are talented players in this league. And you got to believe that these guys are hungry. These guys want to get back to the cup. They want to get that taste of a cup. And with the coach Alain Vigneault, the sky's the limit, guys. I believe the Flyers will finish somewhere around 5th or 6th in the Eastern Conference, 3rd in the Metropolitan, and I think we finally get out of the first round, guys. As you guys know, I will always remain a positive. But guys, those are my thoughts on our Philadelphia Flyers. In the comments below, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you guys feel about going into this brand new Philadelphia Flyers season. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, please help me grow this channel. We are just 6 subscribers away from our goal of 100 subscribers. And we are trying to build a Philly sports channel here. And I can't do it alone. I could use your help, guys. You can help me out by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell button for notifications, and sharing this video as well as this channel as well. And until next time, mi gente, let's go Flyers!